Hey guys, just wanted to do my reaction video to Arrow Season 6, Episode 13, The Devil's Greatest Trick. And so this is going to be the episode. So based on the title, it turns out that, I guess based on looking at promotional, and it seems like based on this title, we might actually learn who the mastermind behind the whole season is. I mean, at first you think, apparently Caden, you found out, at least they found out who the villain is, been pitting the Team Arrow and Caden James and his cabal against one another. It was mentioned that the same person who said the doctored photos of Oliver, the Green Arrow killing Caden's son, was also the same person who leaked the doctored photo of Oliver as the Green Arrow. And it had to be somebody within Caden James' organization to provoke him, so I guess we're going to find out finally who it's supposed to be. What? We don't even get to see him?
We need to talk.
Watching this again.
No, Caden. You're not. We're watching the real video for the very first time. The assassin's name is Carl Iskov. He was instructed to use a bow and arrow so the video could be manipulated and they could make it look like me.
The same tech used to out Oliver as the Green Arrow 4 months ago. Someone's gone through a lot of work to put you two on a collision course.
Oh, yes. Someone within my organization.
How do you know?
The metadata on the forged video file confirms it as the work of the same person who manipulated that photo in October.
You lost a man a month ago.
We're not rounding them up to be executed.
No, I just want a pointed conversation. Bring them to me, all three, alive. Otherwise, I'll have no choice but to stay the course. I still have a very powerful bomb, and I'd be perfectly happy to take out Star City right along with whoever orchestrated the death of my son.
We better get more of her backstory. It's got to be more than
Vince
just...
told me you headed to go backstashed. Took me a little while to figure out where. You stay out of this.
I can't let you hurt her.
Hi, Daddy. I missed you.
Oh, screw you!
I told you.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
What are you doing? I had her!
I'm saving the city.
I'm not letting her out of my sight.
Whoa, I said, what, we're letting the foxes guard the hen houses now? Quentin, Canary, you keep eyes on Black Siren.
That's a horrible idea.
Terrific. You go after Diaz. Overwatch, let us know when you have eyes on Anatoly, and Spartan and I will be ready to move. Put me through to Caden.
Argus responded a few minutes ago about your takedown of Haverwood Pharmaceuticals. My point being is just, if Argus has your scent, maybe going out right now isn't the best idea.
Probably not. I'll take precautions. Can't afford to break this date.
Gentlemen, it's almost midnight.
Not here to play games, Caden.
And yet here you are. And what of Mr. Diaz and Ms. Lance?
They'll be here.
And what of this young man?
You're kidding me, right?
I don't believe your son was invited, Oliver.
I'm scared.
Will you just listen to me?
Just like on the island. Just like when my mom died. I don't want to lose you too. Please, I want to stay with you.
Come here.
It's all right.
Didn't they kind of establish that he was
Just
cool
right
with him
here.
going into danger?
I'm not going to just wake up one day and be your Laurel.
No, you'll always be you. But you can be better.
Why would I?
We live in an ugly world, and the only way to survive it is to be ugly right back.
You're wrong, okay?
Has it ever occurred to you that I like who I am? And that when I killed Sobel, I actually enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Me! I did it. Surprise! I'm the one who did it. I killed your stupid kid.
Been emitting a 76 gigahertz field.
Well, now it's spiking.
Okay, what does this mean?
Is there something wrong with the bomb?
It's a shame, really. He was very cute.
You're not nearly as callous as you portray yourself to be. I saw Miss Lance. When I ordered you to execute Mr. Sobel, I saw you hesitate.
Well, well, well. Now this is interesting. God, you're persistent. It's annoying.
Oh my god, she's the worst. No. They would not kill her twice.
It was me.
Daughter, in you, somewhere. And I'm gonna get it out, whatever it takes.
That's not the way to go about it.
You always understood what they were thinking, how they'd react. But you're realizing now you didn't really know anything.
I'm afraid I don't take your meaning, Mr. Diaz.
Is that so? It's a move. Queen is under indictment now. His team is fractured in a million pieces. And this city, this city, it's prime for a takeover.
Of course it was him.
See, guys like you never understood. She didn't know. I'm the one who had her killed.
That was a really good episode, actually. So yeah, I mean, I'm just getting tired of this like whole feud at this point with between the newbies and the original Team Arrow, and Renee always saying at the end like we're gonna like just because we work together doesn't mean it doesn't change anything. We're still doing our own thing, and it's like you've spent less time doing your own thing and more time working with them in spite of your so-called schism. And if last week's episode was any of it was, and if the last two episodes were any indication, episode 11 was proof that you guys do get more accomplished together, and you were could be just as hypocritical and about like the whole lying and the duplicity thing as they are, and that you guys get more accomplished working together than working separately. And when you don't work, and when you try doing your own thing, like in the last episode, when you fail to catch the bomb or to get Kate and James's bomb, and you also failed to save Vincent because you got him caught in that damn explosion, which got him impaled in the rebar and then eventually killed by Black Siren, and you just basically took the trap, hook, line, and sinker. So, and it's like, at this point, it's like, yeah, I mean, you would think that Dinah's would be sympathetic, you would sympathize for her given her circumstances, but given that she's been like so like hot-headed and the fact that it's like, oh, she blames Oliver for why Vincent was killed, and now she's like, she's willing to like beat up Quentin and use her sonic scream on him, and it's just like you're kind of it's like the whole thing is like, okay, you're going as far. I mean, just in and of itself, you're basically going as far to like a cop and like assaulting, technically the deputy mayor of the city, for one thing, and also it's just like the fact that she's willing to attack her own. It was, I don't know. It's just, it's like there's plenty of blame to go around for. He had a healing ability. He could have taken care of himself. Vincent probably would never have like come after you if he hadn't like been like searching the building, or he only had to worry about trying to get out of the building as opposed to during his escape. I don't know. It's just it's like the newbies just get less and less sympathetic with time. Like this whole like schism should have been resolved in like episode 11. And everybody let bygones be bygones, but they look like they're just being so petty right now. And it's like, and next week's episode is supposed to be, in the trailer it shows, I guess they're supposed to be having a fight, and the synopsis is basically over how to handle Black Siren. So they're definitely, or not next week, it's coming back March 1st because of a bunch of shows are going on hiatus during the Olympics. They don't want to lose ratings, so they don't have to. They know it's like it's pointless to compete with Olympics. So, but it's like So the next episode, they're basically definitely cribbing Captain America: Civil War. And I'm kind of hoping that Oliver just like kicks all their asses, because he has kicked all their asses in close combat. I mean, they got their asses kicked by the Earth X Oliver, Black Arrow, and maybe it takes literally knocking some sense into these guys just to get over themselves. That's my negatives. The positives, I liked how it's moving the story forward, how they were, they're working with, they decided to have a truce with Cade and James, or like make a deal with them. Is like, deliver Diaz, Black Siren, and Anatoly in order to figure out like who's the one who ordered the hit on Owen Post, Caden's son. But the thing is like, the thing I don't get is, one, how did Oliver not recognize who the assassin was, but he knew the name, and he says that, oh, that guy's dead, and like we had no explanations like as to how he, like, okay, so you don't know what he looks like, but but you hear the name and realize, oh, that guy's dead. So what's the history there, if there is any, or how do you know? Like, how do you know that he's dead? And then the whole thing with, Barry coming, or you see Barry in a flash, like, taking them to the outskirts of town to keep Cade and James from leaving. Kind of makes you want, it would kind of disappointing. Like, you don't see him, but I guess because, like, it's hard to do, like, it's hard enough to, I guess, like, do, like, crossovers because like their schedules are so tight and they're trying to keep up with air dates. But on the other hand, it kind of like opens up the question that's like, if Barry's like now like lives up to his name as the fastest man alive, and considering he's able to like, run Big Sur all the way from Central City to China in a matter of seconds, it's like it kind of opens up. I mean, it's kind of hard to suspend disbelief as to why Oliver doesn't just call Barry to help him solve most of his problems, or especially this one with helping him find the bomb. But I did like how it was, he was finally, like, they were finally rounding everybody up, or finally figuring out who the mastermind was. And at first I just thought it would be, Anatoly, just because of, like, it would make more sense that he would have, like, prior knowledge of, know enough about Oliver to send the doctor's photo and send the at least send the doctor's photo. But on the other hand, but then you realize it's like they're falling out. I mean, like you said, Owen died in like January of 2017. And they had and Anatoly and Oliver had their falling out much later, a few months after that. So we have no reason to try to go after, have it go after him and have some kind of vendetta against Oliver. So then, of course, I mean, it was kind of predictable that it was going to be Diaz. I mean, the fact that it's like, at first I was going to be pissed that it was going to be Laurel, just because it's like, it's just kind of annoying, like how, the writers are trying to make her seem like almost irredeemable and not likable, when it's like Oliver, Slade, and Felicity all have high body counts and they're on the side of the Angels. But then, of course, it was pretty predictable it was going to be Ricardo Diaz, because they kept saying that he was supposed to be the big bad of season 6, and then he's gotten like the least amount of focus, and it's kind of been like a background character almost, and it's like he's one like the one he feels like a little bit more like one. He feels like the most like one note of the villains, but I did like how they were like that desperate and like running out of time. They had like meet Kane's demands and let's round up everybody, and they were kind of sort of working together to root out the traitor. And how Ricardo Diaz is like tech savvy enough to like do that kind of thing, I don't know. And it kind of it also leaves some question as to whether how Ricardo Diaz knew Oliver as the Green Arrow. So, but after this episode, I like how they built up Caden James and made him out as most sympathetic, which means you knew he was going to get killed off. But I liked how Michael Emerson's performance, how he went from being calm and collected and talking about, and giving his monologue about how one of them betrayed him, and, losing his son, how he got more emotion in the voice, that he was losing his composure. Like, I thought that was really well performed, and kind of having this, like, slowly having this like emotional breakdown. And, Laurel just trying to make the false confession just to push Kane's buttons and try to like get him to deactivate the bomb. And the fact that his detonator accidentally deactivated her power dampening collar and just knocked everybody on their asses and caused them to scatter was interesting. I was surprised that Dinah was able to get a shot in before getting hit with Laurel's sonic scream, and I guess Quinn was able to patch her up. But I think the thing is that neither of them are really handling the whole Laurel situation well. And it's like, and the fact she's willing to buy into Laurel's false confession that he killed Owen. She's looking for any reason to kill him, and she's already got enough to kill her, and she's already got enough reason to want to kill her. So it just makes her look like she's just like becoming kind of like going off the deep end at this point. And Quinn's kind of like going off the deep end, the fact that it's like, I don't know, I think it's going to be like a slow burn to like redeem Black Siren. But the thing is that the fact that he's like trying to like forcefully reform her is probably going to make her like more resistant to turn over a new leaf. Although there have been Instagram photos of Katie Cassidy having her on the set where her face, she's in this like kind of like half her head is like in this like mold in this cast, and they usually do that for actors when they're trying to make new costumes for them. So if she's getting a new costume, then she might be, the redemption arc might happen before the season's out. And again, I like the Kane James fleshed out the backstory. Everybody that's trying to work to, finally working together, and like stopping with the feud at least temporarily. And I don't know, I had mixed feelings about like William actually is running towards the theater just because it's like he was scared. But it's like, okay, I mean, I guess he was like scared for his dad, but it was just weird because it was like at first he was I feel like 2 episodes ago he was like at the point where he wasn't gonna worry about his dad so much, and that he would be able to take care of himself. But then all of a sudden he was just sort of like, they kind of hit the reset button and then he was back to worrying about it. So, but I guess I just needed a reason for William to be there in order to have this whole interact with Kate and James, have this whole dialogue about, have this whole talk about, just talk about his son, and have this moment where Kane just starts to blame himself for his own son's death and allows Oliver to sort of subdue him. And at least he was like sensible enough. He had sensible enough to realize that, see what he was seeing, the error of his ways, and helping Oliver, get the money back that he extorted from the city, as well as help him track down the Diaz, Anatoly, and Black Siren. And then, but of course I knew, like, I guess it was also given away in one of the trailers how Kate and how that Ricardo Diaz was going to be the big bad, because they had that whole scene where they had a shot of him in the police station, the city's ripe for a takeover, in that interrogation room. So I figured it had to be him. But again, I'm like I said, I haven't spent much time building him up, but I guess that was deliberate, just to come across like the least likely suspect. But then again, it's like, you advertised him as the big bad. People who know anything about him in the comic books figure that he would become the big bad just because of being this crime boss with history of the Green Arrow, and just hoping that because he was like part of this cabal, that people were kind of trying to call him like some people call him the Longbow Hunters, even though they didn't have an official name. But I'm hopeful if they're able to flesh out King James, then maybe now that this whole storyline's said and done, that they'll be able to spend more time fleshing out Ricardo Diaz and making him seem like a more legitimate threat, and feel like but him guess having like cops or city officials on the payroll, that there'll still be like a sense of tension and stakes somehow, even without someone trying to destroy the city. I know I'm nitpicking, but I really did enjoy this episode. I thought it was really pretty thrilling, and there was like a sense of tension with the bomb about to go, off soon. And anyway, won't be any episodes till March 1st. That's when I'll do my next reaction video. X-Files is also going off the air for the Olympics, but I also posted that video will also be up soon. And so I'll just be like covering Legends and Black Lightning and whatever is trending on YouTube. So what do you guys think of this video? What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.